Hello there. I left my phone in there for a bit to charge while I go explore this museum. The time right now is 19 past 3. Hello. I am currently in Museo Iloilo. I'm sweating right now because I was walking for about half an hour. Anyways, let's look and explore the rest of the museum. These are some pictures from the, I think this is just a journey from Bryan to Molo. Upon arrival in Panay, Spanish colonizers found Iloilo to have a flourishing trade with the Chinese when they discovered a large number of Chinese residents and their business establishments in Molo. It was the Chinese merchants who made most of the trade voyages between Manila and Sulu through Panay. Here are some clothes. This is called nipis. I think that's also nipis. This is nipis when worn. This is hablon, anything to be woven. This is a short demonstration. I think this is the Museo Iloilo Pilipinas logo. Petite Metropole Hotel, threading the growth of progress. Iloilo was dubbed the textile capital of the Philippines. The first queen city of the South prior to the opening of the port of Iloilo to the world market. It has been steadily conducting inter-island trade, and at the time the Visayan depot for goods on the galleon trade. British steamship at Guimaras wreck on the 2nd of October 1970. Footprints of the conqueror from Madias to Panay, from Oton to Arevalo, and from Irong to Iloilo. Oh, I think those were the name changes. Let's read a bit. I'm interested. After successfully colonizing the Philippines, particularly establishing its foothold on the setting the colonial government in Cebu 1521, the Spanish colonizers decided after 48 years of depleting the agricultural resources of their frontier capital to look for a rich and promising coastside settlement. Thus, in 1569, Miguel Lopez Legazpi transferred his headquarters from Cebu to the mouth of Panay River in Capiz, and aptly applied the name Panay to the whole island of Madias. Due to the raids by the fierce Moro or Iranun pirates and the encroachment attempts by the Dutch and the English from far east colonies, the Spaniards thought it best to move the capital center to nearby Oton, approximately 12 kilometers east, and renamed the new location in honor of the hometown in Avila, Spain, of the newly appointed deputy encomendero Gonzalo Ronquillo as La Villa Rica de Arevalo. In 1601, the now simply named town of Arevalo became the capital of the Provincia de Oton, covering Panay, Romblon, Guimaras, and Western Negros, and then from Irong to Iloilo. As the raids persisted, the Spaniards again moved their seat of power from Arevalo to some 25 kilometers eastward to the village of Irong, which had a natural and strategic defense against raids and were at the mouth of the river that meanders through Panay. They built Fort San Pedro to better guard against the raids, which were now the only threat to the Spaniards' hold on the islands. Irong or Ilong was shortened to Iloilo, and with its natural port quickly became the capital of the province. In 1716, Provincia de Iloilo assumed the present provincial territory. I want to have a close look at this. Apparently, this is Japanese Philippine currency. I want to read a bit of this. After having established a fairly effective hold of the Philippines in mid-1942, the Japanese issued their first series of occupation currency for the country. Or Japanese Philippine currency was derisively termed Mickey Mouse money by the Filipinos, an obvious reference to their contempt for the Japanese occupation. The size and format of the smaller denominations is very similar to other occupation currencies made with the Japanese for Burma, Malaya, and the Dutch East Indies. Now, Myanmar, Malaysia, and Dutch East Indies is Indonesia. This is also the only time such small denominations were made for the Philippines. Code letters appeared as 2 large letters or as 3 letters in fraction style, 10 centavos. Both 2 and 3 letter codes were found on 1, 5, and 10 centavo notes. Schaefer, 1964. Let's have a look. The Japanese government, 50 centavos, 1p or P1. This is a bit demeaning, to say the least. 10 centavos, 50 centavos. What else? What other denominations do they have here? I think that is, nope, that's 10 centavos. 50 centavos. 5? No, that's also 10 centavos. Yep, 10. These are some statues. Epifanio Concepcion and General Prefecto Poblador's sword. Damn. That is really, really nice. I can only guess this is an old cannon. Santo Entierro, the dead Christ in a glass coffin, sometimes depicted with a white handkerchief tied around the head, as rural Filipinos do to the dead. I see. Faith of the Conqueror. I think these are some old pots. Let's see. Oton diggings. It all began when a young boy dug a hole for a bamboo post of his house when he discovered a cover bowl and dish plate. Accidentally, Mrs. Lourdes de Liotta was passing by in Barangay San Antonio, Oton, Iloilo, when she heard a small group of people discussing about the artifacts recovered by the young boy, until some locals discovered some burial sites in the area which were dated as Sung period until the end of the Ming Dynasty, Chongko 1969. In 1967, Fernando Hocano and Alfredo Evangelista from the National Museum discovered great artifacts in Barangay San Antonio, Oton, which the trade wares indicated from China of the late 14th and early 15th centuries. Among the artifacts were a gold leaf mask for the eyes of the dead, a cone-shaped gold leaf covering for the nose, and a gold for an earplug, and carnelia beads. These indicated that the local inhabitants of the area had a very sophisticated culture. Regalado in Franco, 1973. Damn. Those are some exquisite discoveries. These are some old pots as well. Roots pointing to the north and to the south. The Negritos. God damn. I think I haven't explored this section of the... Let's just check what percentage this is. See if we can now take this on. 13, never mind. Let's keep that there. I think these are just paintings. Some... Oh, damn. Yeah. Pedestal mixed media 2-part sphere, 22 centimeters NAV. They're pretty nice finds, I should say. Pretty nice works of art. Mapa de las Islas Filipinas. The folklore that was Maragtas. The Ilonggo's prehistory was once based primarily on the Maragtas, which some scholars consider as folk history because through the years it has evolved into about 6 versions and is interlaced with events and stories quite fantastic to be true. Ponteras, 1978. It tells of the arrival in Panay of Malay Datus, and their families from Borneo in 1250. As the narrative goes, the Bornean Malays came into contact with the Atis, or Negritos, who inhabited some parts of the shoreline of the island at the time. They then negotiated with the latter for the pagtaba, barter or purchase, of the coastal areas where they intended to settle down. After the agreement, the newcomers established settlements along riverbanks and seacoasts, while the Atis moved and retreated into the island's interiors. Although previously accepted by some historians, including the present authors, it has become obvious that El Maligtas is only the imaginary creation of Pedro A. Monteclaro, a Visayan public official and poet in Iloilo in 1907. He based it on folk customs and legends, largely transmitted by oral tradition. Doña Saide, 1987. Maligtas was finally placed in its proper perspective as a book of legends rather than historical fact in 1968 by William Henry Scott. The Panay Bukidnon. Dave. Damn. Damn, dude. Wow. Very nice. Boom, boom, boom. The Negritos. God damn. When the Spaniards came, Panay was peopled by two different ethnic groups, the Negritos who lived in the mountains and the Visayan who lived along coasts and rivers. Lawarca in BNR 1903. Believed to be the first settlers in the islands, are small in stature and more of a coffee color than the Guineans, but with their soft hair, beard, and flat noses. They closely resemble the Guineans. They did not have houses or fixed settlements, nor did they plant or reap. With their wives and children, they wandered half naked except for a piece of the bark of a tree to cover the forepart of their bodies. Their only property was the bow and arrow with which they were dexterous. Colin in Pastels, 1900. Apologies if that was too fast for you. Just wanted to talk like that because why not? Isla Gigantes pottery. Alright. That's a pretty cool air conditioner. I think that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I think I have explored pretty much every part of this particular museum. Bye bye.